At first, it was just something that I used to do without any concern about making them published or using them as work or career. It was just something that I loved to do. But then after a while, I decided to use it to talk to people, to send messages through art. And I used to buy so many different cartoon magazines. And I remember I was 23, 24, when I realized all these cartoonists that I used to wish to be one of them or to be like them. They drew cartoons for me and published it on social media in different news organizations around the world. And that was such a fantastic experience I had. When I was in Australia and Papua New Guinea, I remember the political activities used to inspire me very much. Not the Iranian politics, but the Australian politics. The things that have been happening in Australia, especially towards immigration policies, were inspiring me so much. Being able to tell a message through cartoons and helping the people who had the same situation as mine, it was so inspiring for me and gave me so much energy to continue doing it. So when I was living in detention centers, I call them prison, because when I talk to Norwegian society about immigration detention centers, they have a picture of Norwegian detention center, like a Norwegian immigration camp, which is so different than Australian immigration camp. Like in Norway, you're free. If you're a refugee, you're free. You're not being locked in one room for years. When I was in prison in Australia and Papua New Guinea, I had to fight for my freedom. I had to do a lot of hunger strikes and draw a lot of cartoons and show my complaint to the authorities and to the Australian government, which of course made a huge news in Australia. I was being talked about in Parliament and on the news, Guardian, Washington Post, all these international news organizations. So all of these activities led to a campaign on Twitter, which was called #EatenFish, since Eaten Fish is my artistic name. And so on this hashtag, which was worldwide, and I remember at some point it was the largest cartooning campaign in history. Thousands of different artists started drawing cartoons and posted on this hashtag, which led the drawings and the story of these cartoonists to be published in different countries. And that's how Norway got to know about me and my case. And I remember I was on a hunger strike when I got an email from ICORN organization who helped me to come to Norway. But I didn't have any hope on it. So this was just an email from someone telling me nice things, and I was thinking it's just something to make me feel good. And I think a year after the first email, I was in hospital because of hunger strike damages I had. And I got invitation from Norwegian government to come to Norway. When I was a child, I started drawing fish bones in my drawings. So after, not like political drawings, but any drawing, just to show that this is mine, I used to draw fish bones. When I moved to Australia and the condition I had in the prison, and talking to different press organizations and journalists, my cartoonist friend from Guardian, he asked me that if I can find an artistic name for myself. Then I sit down and I started thinking, what do I do that is connected to my childhood memories, to my dream? I decided to choose the name Eaten Fish, which is so connected to the fish bones signature, and also connected to the story of my travel to Australia, because I traveled to Australia by a fishing boat from Indonesia. And it looked like that Australian government caught fish from the sea and ate it, like processing centers. And I was thrown away in Papua New Guinea in another prison. It's like when you eat the fish, you have the fish bones left, you throw it in the bin. That's the philosophy behind the name Eaten Fish. I said that art can make change. When I was a drawer in my home country, I didn't think about that much. I wasn't involved in political activities to show like protest or something. When I went to the first detention camp that I was in Christmas Island in Australia, I did a lot of drawings, but the one that affected people was that I drew Australia's map on a t-shirt, a white t-shirt I had, and I drew it with pen. And then and this Australian map had eyes, crying eyes. And underneath of the map I wrote, I am only a refugee. And I didn't have any idea of protesting with this t-shirt. I just wanted to like show that, yeah, I did this. It's not printed, it's drawn by hand. So I wore this t-shirt, and we had timing that we could go around the detention camp and walk around. And I started walking around until I saw two immigration officers coming by. Not to me, but they were just doing their own business. I was like, oh, I should walk in front of them so they can see. It wasn't a protest at all. They came to me and they asked me, what is that? Why did you do that? They started asking me, they started investigating. And I noticed that they are investigating why I did this drawing suddenly. And what do I want to achieve with that? And they told me that this sounds like a protest. Are you protesting? And I said, oh, I was so scared of even protesting because I was thinking that Australian government is going to recognize me as a troublemaker and never allow me to enter Australia. And I said, no, this is not, it's just something that I wanted to show to others, that's all. I went back to my room and then I started thinking, the drawing was noticed by government officials. And so, yeah, I see that effect and I continued doing it. And I didn't mean to be a political cartoonist. It was just documenting my own daily life in the detention center. But then people recognized it as political drawings, and I was called political cartoonist. Art is a language, worldwide language, that you don't need to talk, you don't need to write in it to send a message. You can just show it with just either simple shapes or very, very professional painting. So I believe that art can make change. It had a big effect in my life. It was art that saved my life. It was art that introduced me to Norway and to the world. So art made change in my own life, yeah.